Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements. And in this video we are going to be reviewing Scooby-Doo, The Legend of the Vampire. Now where to start with this one? Now this was the first movie to dramatically change the tone and animation style from the preceding four brilliant movies, namely Zombie Island, Alien Invasion, Cyber Chase, and The Witch's Ghost, and they were changing it to being something a lot more childish, more comedic, and more lighter in tone, and the result was just so frustratingly disappointing. Now things did pick up as the years went on, but this film in particular was just so uninspiring. I mean, the characters are really lame, the narrative itself was really lame, and it kind of almost insulted the brilliance that came before it. I mean, it almost felt like a bit of an extended TV episode rather than a brilliant cinematic experience, and unfortunately, as a result, I have to say it's probably my least favourite Scooby-Doo animated movie. Apologies for anyone that really loves Legend of the Vampire, but it wasn't one of my favourite ones, and I'm going to be breaking it down for you and explaining why in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, the gang are on vacation in Australia when they stumble across the mystery at the Vampire Music Rock Festival, where performers on stage seemingly disappear when the vampire Yowie Yahoo shows up with his three minions. Now this vampire apparently resides in Vampire Rock and turned performers known as the Wild West, a trio group, into vampires a year ago. Now the gang have to investigate by going undercover and performing as a music act to lure out the Yowie Yahoo to ultimately find out what's really going on. Now from a storyline point of view, I just feel like this was unnecessarily overly convoluted and just was not enjoyable in the slightest. So from a cast and characters point of view, it really pains me to say that I feel like the cast and characters in this movie just weren't that great, but Scooby-Doo movies generally actually have really great supporting cast of characters. But that just was not the case in Legend of the Vampire, so let's break them down one by one. So the gang at first are on a bit of a vacation, but then quickly get into mystery solving mode. Poor Scooby has his tail damaged on multiple occasions, including a crab bite and a crocodile bite as well. The main villain, the Yowie Yahoo, was not threatening in the slightest. In fact, he was pretty lame and pretty annoying. His three minion vampires were pretty forgettable as well. We then have the character of Russell, who is a bit of an event organizer, with his best friend Daniel, and Daniel's grandfather really fears the vampire and wants to do some mysterious communication styles to not lure the vampire out. We then have the Hex Girls. Now they were the only decent part of this film because they were returning from a much better film, which was The Witch's Ghost, so they were alright. But then we finally have the most annoying character that has ever been created from a Scooby-Doo franchise, which is Jasper Ridgway. Now this character wasn't interesting in the slightest. In fact, he was really annoying. I'm sure they created him to be really annoying, but as such this movie was just not that great. Now from a visuals point of view, this is the first movie where they really changed up the tone and the animation style. I've always said that I much prefer the first four animated films, namely Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, Alien Invaders, and Cyber Chase. Those were so much better. This was the first film that really changed it up. Now I'm not hating the visuals. I feel like they're alright. They just weren't that memorable in this film. There wasn't an impressive chase sequence. There wasn't a great fight sequence either. And the villain was just so forgettable and just wasn't memorable in the slightest. So I just feel like from a visuals point of view, while the aesthetic was alright, it just wasn't that remarkable at all. So from a comparison point of view, like I said before, this is probably my least favourite Scooby-Doo animated movie, and I think it's below Stage Fright, Shaggy's Showdown, and the Phantosaur, Legend of the Phantosaur movie as well. In terms of comparing it to the other vampire movie, Music of the Vampire, that one is just 10 million times better than this movie is. So unfortunately, from a comparison point of view, I just did not like Legend of the Vampire. So overall, I have to say Scooby-Doo Legend of the Vampire just is not that great. I did not enjoy this movie. I thought the characters weren't that great. I thought the narrative itself wasn't that great. I thought the mystery was just unnecessarily convoluted, especially following such brilliant movies It was just really, really disappointing. Now, I don't want to hate on Scooby-Doo movies because I am a big fan of them. I just felt like this one just unfortunately did not step up to the plate. I mean, all of the films after this did get a lot better, but as far as this movie goes, I did not enjoy it, unfortunately, and so I have to give it a 2 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.